You're watching the live video edition of the Special Chronicles Show. This is episode 310 with our guest, John Ross. I forgot to ask you how to pronounce your last name.
Oh, Bowie.
Bowie. Okay. Awesome. And
rhymes with Maui.
Okay, awesome. And this is the Special Chronicles Show. You can find out all the ways to listen and subscribe to the show on specialchronicles.com/show or specialchronicles.com/speechlessabc. All the links will be in the description right below this video, below our faces. And here we go with the audio podcast.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
This is episode 310 of the Special Chronicles Show. This week on Special Chronicles, our guest is John Ross Bowie from the popular sitcom Speechless on ABC. Is here to talk about behind-the-scenes stories of filming season 3, premiering October 5th on ABC. It's coming up right now on specialchronicles.com.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show. This is the show where we're podcasting disability. I messed that up. Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Special Chronicles Show. My name is Daniel. I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles. So good to be back behind the mic, and I'm excited as we kick off the month of September 2018 with a brand new opening, and I'm so excited to have as our guest today is John Ross Bowie. John Conley can be seen playing Jimmy DeMaio on ABC Speechless. He is best known to TV audiences as Barry Kripke on the Big Bang Theory on CBS. John has also appeared on other TV shows, including Fresh Off the Boat, Chasing Life episodes, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, among others. And films John has appeared in include Between Us, Pet, I, Steve. He's Not Just That Into You, Sex Drive, Road Trip. And John is a writer of his play Full Codes and a Gun, making its world premiere in Los Angeles in summer 2016. John has a bachelor's degree in English, and after becoming an actor, started in improv classes at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Chelsea. Welcome to Special Chronicles, John. John?
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And so I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers probably know you or have seen you. But for any new listeners, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and tell us your backstory? Cool.
Set at my
Big cool. I think we'll cut in and out a little bit. John, it's a little bit hard to hear.
Can't see you right now, but I can hear you.
Okay, I can see you, but it's a little bit cut in and out. So hopefully the connection will stay with us. We might want to drop the video. Yeah, we might want to drop the video because the connection is coming in and out. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, John? I think we have lost John. Eating audio. Okay, bye.
How's this?
Oh.
Better?
Yeah, that's better. Perfect. So we're still recording the video, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning and
Okay.
edit out the first half of the
Okay.
of the video.
Whatever's good.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and press record again. So again, folks watching the video, this is take 2 of episode 310.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
This is episode 310 of the Special Chronicles Show. This week on Special Chronicles, our guest is John Ross Bowie from the popular sitcom Speechless on ABC. Is here to talk about behind-the-scenes stories of filming in season 3, premiering on Friday, October 5th on ABC. It's coming up right now on SpecialChronicles.com.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try. It's time we care. It's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Special Chronicles Show. My name is Daniel Smrokowski. I'm a host and founder of Special Chronicles. So good to be back behind the mic, and as we kick off September 2018 with a brand new opening and closing, I'm so excited that our guest today is John Ross Bowie. John Conley can be seen playing Jimmy DeMaio on ABC's Speechless. He is best known to TV audiences as Barry Kripke on The Big Bang Theory on CBS. John has also appeared on other TV shows, including Fresh Off the Boat, It's in Life, Episodes, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, among others. And films John has appeared in include Bettina's Pet, I, Steve, He's Just Not That Into You, Sex Drive, Road Trip, among others. And John is a writer of his play Full Codes and a Gun, making its world premiere in Los Angeles in summer 2016. John has a bachelor's degree in English, and after becoming an actor, started improv classes at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Chelsea. Welcome to Special Chronicles, John.
Hi. Good. You froze up again.
So, welcome. So let's have you. I'm sure tons of our listeners and viewers have seen you on TV. But for any new listeners, why don't you briefly introduce yourself and tell us your backstory?
Oh, as I said, I mean, you covered a lot of it in your introduction of me. That's a lot of good research there. Yeah, I grew up in New York. I started acting in my late 20s, and I've lived in Los Angeles for about 16 years now, almost 17 years. I live here with my wife and my 2 kids, and we are in the middle. I'm literally on lunch from a day shooting the season 3 premiere of Speechless.
Awesome. So we'll try to keep our time together brief, but in reading your bio, I understand that you took improv classes in Chelsea in New York City. And last month, June 2018, as part of my early 30th birthday, my mom and I took a vacation to New York City for my first time. And we ate at a place called Whitman's Burgers in Chelsea.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Whitman's Burgers might be new. Again, if I've been gone from New York for about 16 years now, so a lot has changed in that time. But,
it might.
I've probably walked past it.
Yeah. So
it's a great food town, New York. I will say that it is a terrific food town. Yeah,
it is. It absolutely is. We had a lot of different food from different cultures when we were there. And we didn't eat at McDonald's or any of those fast food places. So
good. Good. You've got those everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that anywhere.
Yeah. You can do that anywhere. So take us back to your time on the long-running sitcom CBS on the Big Bang Theory. In particular, what I especially enjoyed and appreciated is the character that you played, Billy Kripke, who you're best known to TV audiences for, and just like me, is also a person who stutters. So can you tell us a little bit about playing that character?
It's interesting. They I auditioned for I actually auditioned to play Leonard, the part that Johnny Galecki got. Mm-hmm. And then when Johnny Galecki got it, I said, that show is dead to me. No, I recognize that that's the way the business works, and I was fine with it. And I like Johnny a lot. I've always liked Johnny. But in their second season, they wanted to have a villain for Sheldon, and they called me into audition the night before the role was supposed to start. And I played the role as sort of this very aggressive sort of alpha nerd. Yeah. And they suggested that he have a little bit of a speech impediment, just to give him. It's interesting to say this now, but to give him a little bit of a vulnerability. So I did the speech impediment that you hear now, and that's I don't know if that's what got me the role, but 10 years later.
Yeah, neat. So did you tell us about briefly about any of the lessons that you learned from playing this character, and how this character has helped to teach you about those of us with differences and disabilities?
We're talking about Kripke still, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's great about Kripke is that he's a winner. Kripke is never a victim. Kripke wins bets. Kripke, he's just a very strong character who's very secure and very sure of himself, and I love that about him. He even thinks it's a good idea to sing at somebody's wedding. I think he's just a very strong, powerful character, and he's super fun to play. And the cast over there is lovely. I love those guys very much, and they've been good friends to me over the years.
Neat. So fast forward to the reason why we're having you on the program today, to Speechless on ABC, which premiered September 2016, which is a couple years ago. But tell us about your backstory with Speechless, and when you first heard about this project and reading the script for the pilot, and your first reaction to the show.
I saw the script and I wasn't sure what it was going to be, what the tone of the show was going to be, if you know what I mean. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a sort of a half-hour drama. I didn't fully grasp what a show like that would try to do. And then I read the script, and very early on, before I think even the opening credits begin, JJ gives the finger, or tries to give his version of the finger, to a little old lady who is yelling at the family. Yeah. And I thought, I want to be a part of a show where a kid who uses a wheelchair gives the finger to a little old lady in the first 3 minutes. I thought that was something that I could really enjoy. And we shot the pilot, and I kind of just crossed my fingers, and I hoped that the show would go to series and it would take me with it. And lo and behold, we are entering our third season. The critics, I think one of the things that helps keep the show afloat, because our ratings are okay, but one of the things that keep the show afloat is that the critics really love it, and it gets very good reviews, and people just want to hang out with this family, which is it's a fun thing to be a part of a show like that.
Awesome. Well, I've caught all the episodes since the pilot, because a friend of mine, I have learning disabilities and a severe language disorder, and a friend of mine on the East Coast has CP. We've Since the pilot, we have done an episode by episode for all of season 1 and a few episodes of season 2 of speech from a disability perspective.
Okay.
So it's been interesting to follow along with the journey that your characters have. So your creator Scott Bowie has a brother with CP. Can you tell us briefly about Scott's backstory and how this has shaped the sitcom of Speechless?
I absolutely can. What Scott initially set out to do was just tell a story about his family, who were these kind of don't care badasses, and these people who kind of played by their own rules. And when he was coming together with the idea, somebody asked him, like, well, why was your family like that? Why did your family not care what other people think? And Scott explained that one of the things was that his older brother, had cerebral palsy. And that's when sort of all the people at ABC and Scott himself all realized that was the show. That was something that hadn't been dealt with on television before, certainly not in a half-hour comedy.
Yeah.
So he set out.
John, this is the Special Chronicles Show. My guest is John Ross Bowie from ABC's Speechless.
What? You there?
Yep, I'm there.
You there? You there?
I'm there. Yep, I'm still. I think the.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I think that's.
Hello.
I think that should be better. Okay, I think that should be.
How's that? Oh, there you are.
Oh, there we go. Should be better.
What I was saying about Scott,
yep,
was that he set out the story out of first, and disability was second. And I think that is, I think that keeps it from just being a show that's about disability, and makes it more happy disability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I appreciate about your show, and what I think the mainstream public can really appreciate about your show without seeing the disability at the forefront, even though it is at the forefront. But
no, it's just a very funny show with a lot of really great writers and a great cast, and one of the cast members uses a wheelchair. That's kind of it, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. So one of our guests today on the Special Chronicles program is John Ross Bowie from ABC's Speechless, with season 3 premiering on a new night, Friday, October 5th at 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. Do you have any favorite memories from filming seasons 1 and 2, and perhaps a brief behind the scenes story from filming seasons 1 and 2?
We've had some guests. We just had John Cleese in my phone. We had Rob.
You cut out just a little bit with some of those guest stars.
We had Rob Corddry, and we had Paul F. Tompkins, and we had John Cleese recently. That's in the episode that's going to air on October 5th. But there's been a lot of... We had one episode where JJ has a bunch of other kids with special needs come over to the house to watch the Oscars, and the cable goes out. So the kids all end up in JJ's room having what we called a special needs death match. And it was all actors. It was all of the actors were people with disabilities, all of them. So we had a young deaf actress, and we had a visually impaired actor, and we had an actor with autism, and they get into this very complicated pillow fight that is ultimately just about inclusion. And it was so fun to shoot, and everyone just really enjoyed themselves that day. And the kids were having a great time, and they were all really funny. And it was probably one of my favorite moments we've done on the show. Everybody from the writer's room came downstairs to watch. And the way they set it up was they would have wearing blindfolds, so they wouldn't have an advantage over the kid who was blind, and the kids all had earmuffs, so they wouldn't have an advantage over the kid who was hearing impaired. And so they just all these like kids with like, you know, towels wrapped around their heads and earmuffs, just wailing on each other with pool noodles. And it was fine moments of TV. I'm not even in the scene, and I stuck around to watch. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what I loved also about that scene is that it's just pure fun and funny that people of all ages can really laugh at and just love watching. So what have you learned about your TV son, Micah Fowler's dad, and other special needs dads to shape the character of Jimmy DeMaio that you play so well? As a person with disabilities, my dad helps out with the business side of Special Chronicles, and so I know from firsthand with my own dad how appreciative we are of our dads, despite the disabilities that we were diagnosed with. So, what have you learned from Micah's dad and another dad?
Micah's parents are on set quite a bit, and I know David, his father, quite well. He was actually just in town yesterday, and the first day. Not the first day they moved to Los Angeles, but shortly after they moved to Los Angeles, I took them out to dinner just to get to know Micah a little bit better, so we would have a believable father and son relationship, but also to talk to the parents a little bit. And they've been an invaluable resource of information and insight. They have gone through some of the things that the DeMaios go through, and they've gone through some things that we haven't covered on the show yet, but they've handled it with a lot of grace, and they've been a delight to work with. We have Micah on set. Mm-hmm. We have Scott, whose older brother had cerebral palsy. We have a writer named Zach Anner, who is a stand-up comic and is one of our writers and has cerebral palsy. He's a very popular blogger, and he wrote a fantastic book called If at Birth You Don't Succeed, which I recommend to anyone within the sound of my voice. Yep. So we have a few people we can talk to about how would this work, and then I've got friends outside of the show who have kids with cognitive disabilities or language delays or one thing or another. The thing that you find out is that parents are parents. That's the big takeaway. Parents are parents, and they all want what is absolutely best for their kids, and every kid's got something. My kid was a holy terror when he was in preschool. He didn't have a diagnosis. He was just a very challenging young man. Yeah. And everybody is a fierce advocate for their child. So we've all got that in common. Mm-hmm. So I guess the thing I've learned the most is that there really isn't a huge difference between, they've been through a little bit more and they've had a few more challenges. We all just desperately will do anything for our kids. Awesome. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of that same comments from other parents who, because I competed in Special Olympics, so
cool. Other
parents and in fact, I was just out in Los Angeles in 2015 for the World Games. So
okay,
producing a live podcast out there. How is Jimmy, your character, similar and different from you as a dad with your two kids?
He's so much cooler than I am. Jimmy's just so much cooler than I could ever hope to be. And that was one of the first things we talked about, Scott and I. Just there's a sense in Jimmy that he's very confident and very knows who he is and is very comfortable in his bones. And, he's got a hot wife and he works hard, and that's it. He's there's a coolness to Jimmy that I aspire to. He's very unflappable. He's kind of a badass, and I love playing the character that way.
Awesome. Well, you spoke just a minute ago, and I guess again, Augustus John Ross Bowie from ABC's Speechless, which is premiering on a new night, Friday, October 5th at 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. and you just spoke a little bit, just a few moments ago about Micah's dad and his parents. But what have you learned from Micah, the actor?
Just that he's a teenager. I mean, he's 20 now. I guess I have to stop calling him a teenager, which is annoying. But you know, he you know, we've gone to see movies together, and we you know, he loves a good Marvel movie, and he's just a fun kid to hang out with. He's very curious. This is his not his first job in show business. He did a film before. He's did some TV appearances, but it's the longest job. It's the longest job I've had in the show business, for that matter. I mean, if you don't count, I've shot more episodes of Speechless than I have of Big Bang Theory at this point. So it's, you know, it's the most I've ever done for one show. So Mike and I are both kind of learning the ropes in that regard. But he's very curious, and he wants to know how things work, and he wants to grow as an actor, and he wants to sort of learn what other people's jobs are on set. And it's fun to be around somebody who's that engaged and that enthusiastic about the process. Awesome.
Well, what have you learned from Mason Cook and Kyla Kennedy, who play JJ's brother and sister, and from other special needs sibling?
You know, it's interesting. We address the phenomenon on our show that sometimes the kid who has special needs will take precedence over the other kids. Mm-hmm. And the way we address it on the show is that Ray is a huge academic achiever, and Kyla, Dylan, is a big jock and loves to run, and you know, she's a track star. And I've seen a little bit of that in the special needs siblings that I've met. Oh, I'm sitting on my wardrobe shirt. That's not cool. Sorry, you're getting to see how everything gets done here. Yeah. They're and I think they've noticed this too. They've got there's a sense among kids in that situation to try and excel and to maybe grow up a little quicker, not necessarily in a bad way, but to mature a little quicker in order to kind of take care of things. And that's kind of fun to, it's interesting to see that sort of operating up close.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what you spoke briefly a little bit ago about your co-star Minnie Driver, who plays Maya, your wife and your kids, your TV wife, I should say, and your TV wife, not to get confused with your life.
Understood. Yeah.
But what have you learned from Minnie Driver and the character that she plays, Maya?
Well, Minnie's been at this business longer than I have. I mean, she's a very accomplished actress with a stunning resume of great work. So it's fun to work with somebody who's that seasoned and is that good at her job. We have talked to a lot of special needs parents together, and as I said, there's a tendency for the moms to be kind of tiger moms and I see this in Tammy Fowler. I see this in Micah's mom. Very sturdy, very strong, very protective, and very sometimes a little aggressive. And I don't see that too much in Tammy, actually, but it's definitely written into Maya's character, and I love that. And I love the fact that the family is such a close-knit unit and will just stick up for each other under all circumstances. And even though they fight and they bicker, they genuinely love each other very much, and they will take sides with each other against the world at the drop of a hat. And I like that shit.
Awesome. Well, what have you learned from Cedric, who plays Kenneth in Special Needs Dads, and and how realistic are special needs aides like Kenneth and how they're really involved in the family's personal lives of those students, like we see Kenneth is with the D Miles.
Yeah, Kenneth uses our shower occasionally. Yeah, Kenneth is Kenneth is probably more in the DeMayo's house than a normal or a typical special needs aide would be. That said, he's so much fun to have around, and he's such an interesting puzzle piece in the DeMayo family that we'd be lost without him. Cedric's actually the first person in the entire show to be cast. They cast him before Micah. They cast him before Minnie. They cast him certainly before me. And he just and they were like, oh, we got to lock this. So he had this job before any of us did.
Awesome. I'm sure that he brings that up to you guys.
He's very gracious about it. He doesn't bring it up too often. No.
Oh, good. So, how is this show Speechless? How is it creating understanding and acceptance and inclusion in the mainstream community, similar to what we've been doing at Special Chronicles the past 10 years in podcasting and the mainstream community when it comes to podcasting, but similar to what Speechless is doing on television?
It's hard to say. I don't know that I can say.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for me to say. I think I'd leave that to other people to say that, the show is accomplishing this or the show's accomplishing that. I know that as somebody who just walks around, when people come up to me, they seem very passionate about it. They seem very enthusiastic about it, and they feel represented in a way that maybe they haven't beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good feeling. As far as our actual influence and what we're actually accomplishing, I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
Yeah.
I will let audiences decide that for us.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, as you are currently filming the season 3 premiere of Speechless, can you give us any sneak peek preview of any storylines and that our listeners can look forward to when season 3 premieres on Friday, October 5th?
I think, well, the DeMayo's frantically trying. If you haven't finished season 2, we ended the season on our lawn because we'd been kicked out of our house. We'd been evicted. So it involves us trying to get our house back and to ask Minnie's father, played by John Cleese, for help. As the season goes on, I can't give away too much, and I've only read a couple scripts. As the season goes on, we're going to probably have a little more fun this year. They got a lot of bad. They lost the house. They found out that JJ was cool on time. They took a lot of last year, and I think they're going to sort of and have a little more fun. So I'm looking forward to what I can't get more specific than that. But I know that we do the Halloween episode in 2 weeks, and it's really funny and really silly, and I think it's going to be a blast.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to watching season 3. I'm sure tons of our listeners as well. I pulled from a number of our listeners that are big fans of your show. And in following you guys and in particular the show on Instagram and on social media, that you guys filmed the 2-part season 3 premiere in London, England, and as we're taping this podcast, I'm actually drinking some English breakfast hot tea, and so to kind of get in the spirit of of your season 3 premiere. how did this come about, and any brief fun behind the scenes stories of filming in London, England?
London's a great city, and I love it a lot. I like one city to walk around in and to tourist. A couple of days off before we started shooting, and Micah and I and Cedric all went to Kensington Palace, and we took a tour of where some of the royals live. God, Micah got to see some theater. He saw Hamilton in London. He had a great old time. But the what was real for me was working with John Cleese. He was such a comedy hero of mine, and I grew Python, and to actually work with one of the members of Monty Python was crazy, and it was an honor. The episode's going to be really funny. We used London really well. We shot a lot outside. A lot of the show is us in front of Trafalgar Square, or us in front of Westminster Abbey, or the Houses of Parliament. So we really used London quite well. So it's going to be, but it also, there's a reason we're there, that it isn't just, the DeMeos take a vacation. We're there to get in touch with Minnie's dad. And that part is funny and moving and interesting. And it's a blast.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to watching it, and as we see in the logo for your show, Speechless, and you guys are walking, kind of like the famous picture of the Beatles walking. Is that can you tell us briefly how that fits in with filming this 2-part season 3 premiere?
It doesn't. It's actually from the very first season, that Abbey Road picture of us walking across the street. But the reason I do want to talk about that picture, though, because the idea of that to make the DeMeos seem like a rock band, like rock stars, and that's sort of like they play by their own rules and they're not beholden to society's norm, was a theme that we keep coming back to throughout the show. So it was an homage to the Beatles' Abbey Road cover, but it was specifically to make the DeMeos look like rock stars. And then last year, we did a photograph where we all looked like the members of Queen, that famous shot of everybody looking up, and to make the DeMeos look as badass as possible.
Yeah, neat. So before we let you get back to filming, we've got a few closing remarks here, but
okay.
Do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today on Special Chronicles that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, first of all, congratulations on 10 years. That's fantastic. That is, the podcast market is very intense and very competitive, but I think, the unique stuff rises to the top, and congratulations on 10 years. That's quite an achievement. It has been a delight. I've learned so much from the disability community, and it's been so fun kind of broadening my horizons and learning more in the process of doing this show. So it's been great to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, it's been an honor to have you on the show. Where and how can our listeners watch the season 3 of Speechless on your new time, and connect and follow Speechless on social media, as well as yourself on social media for behind the scenes pictures and videos? And
the official show handle is @SpeechlessABC. That'll take you to Instagram and Twitter. I'm @John Ross Bowie on Twitter and Instagram. And the show premieres on Friday, October 5th at 8:30 p.m. after fresh off the boat, and available for streaming on abc.com and on Hulu.
Awesome. Well, I'll put all the links and information in the show notes on specialchronicles.com. speechlessabc in the show notes for this podcast. If our listeners are driving or walking and they can't write it down right now, but
don't, if you're driving, do not reach for your phone.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Don't reach for your phone.
I want to make that point.
Yeah, good point. And so if our listeners want to share their feedback, you can email us feedback@specialchronicles.com, email us an audio file or email. And new today, you can now text us your feedback instantly, anytime, anywhere, by typing in feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com in your iMessage or your text messaging app on your phone, where you normally put someone's phone number, but put that email in, and then you can text us, and it'll show up on this iPad in front of me here in the studio. You can also join the conversation on social media at Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Special C Podcast on Twitter. And make sure to leave us your 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Facebook, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is really powering lives and is really helping us and empowering Special Chronicles this year. Go to specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And we thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles. And this episode 310 is brought to you by listeners like you. Please join our supporters and help support us at Special Chronicles with your tax-deductible donation today. To help us continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special needs, please go to specialchronicles.com/giving. That's specialchronicles.com/giving. And we thank you for your generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. That's a mouthful, but it's been tons of fun, John, having you on the show. Once again, Augusta.
Well done.
Thank you for coming on Special Chronicles, and hopefully we can meet up in person someday. Hopefully we.
Daniel, thanks for having me.
Thank you, John. So until next week, we remember, choose to include.
Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Awesome. I'm going to stop that. And thanks again, John. I left off one question for the sake of time, but it's been awesome having you on.
I'm sorry for all the technical hang-ups, but I think it worked out.
I missed that last thing you said.
It's an honor. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I will talk to you. Okay.
Thank you.